how were you guys received when you toured over there?
Great, yeah.
Absolutely great. They were a really constantly responsive crowd. It was just very, very engaging and quite kind of just up for it. Very, very up for it, which was just very, very kind of refreshing, particularly, I think that it's true with any band. When you play one city and you play it repeatedly, you end up hitting the same market over and over, and you don't kind of get a response, maybe something that sometimes it is due. And when you hit a completely fresh crowd that's not heard you from Adam or known you from Adam, you get a fresh response, and to have such an exciting fresh response it's very rewarding, to be honest. And one of the reasons that we'll pursue a further career outside of the UK itself.
Yeah, it's just about getting out there. Any band out there should just do it anyway. Get out,
spread the word.
Play the UK, play wherever you can.
Just move out your hometown anytime. Any chance to move and play out your hometown, it's a godsend. It really is.
Yeah, cool. Well, that is very true, and you only live once, so why not be in more places and so on. So you toured Europe as well. Whereabouts did you go in Europe?
It was most
prominent was probably the most prominent date in Europe was probably to mention was Amsterdam, because we ended up hitting there a few times, and that was wild. I mean, I won't throw caution to the wind with your listeners for any sort of reason, but that was a really wild place to play in Europe.
It was Bleeberg aan Zee.
Yeah, just outside Amsterdam itself. It's a kind of a man-made beach area where it's a wakeboarding centre and it's just on the coast. It was that's one of the most surreal part of the Europe sort of trip itself,
But we are going to get some more dates lined up for Europe. France and Germany's kind of like
on the cards in the next couple of months.
as well as the States, and as many gigs as we can still do in the UK. It's just about constantly just getting out there and doing it. So it's exciting times. Yeah.
Cool. And when you go back over the States, will it be the same area? Because I believe it was just a West Coast tour, was it this time?
It was East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast, sorry.
New York, Boston, kind of New Hampshire, Manchester way. So it was all kind of the prominent old school places. I mean, funny enough, the place that we recorded while we were out there, as well as gigging, was a house that was converted, that was one of the original stunning houses of the forefathers of the original colony days. This place was from like the 1787, if I remember rightly. Right. So we got a real taste of the colonial Americana while we were there too. So it was quite a nice experience to be involved with that as well.
Yeah. And it's like it's just one of those. Just get over there, and I think we're going to be playing the East Coast again, but we're hoping to get over to like the West Coast gradually, and
LA, San Francisco,
and sort of
Seattle. Hopefully next time,
slowly but surely.
Yeah, that's cool. And who did you record your new EP with?
There was a wonderful chap called Brian Satch, who is a really prominent producer based in New Hampshire, which is a wonderful state between Massachusetts and Connecticut on the East Coast. This guy was a Berkeley Masters, toured with multiple brass bands himself, a drummer by trade, and was involved with quite a few very important mastering studios. And this guy he's got a real ear and a real talent for music, and took us in as a member of his family for the time we were at his house recording. It was an overall wonderful music experience where we've grown while we were there as well. So,
I mean, speaking for myself, I think he was the best producer I've worked with.
Hands down, definitely.
So I mean that's like that's going to be like, we've got the 2012 EP coming out, and then we've got this unnamed Detour, possibly Detour. That's going to be following out so the EPs are going to sort of run alongside each other with like months apart, and the stuff we recorded with Brian is the follow up, which we heard the rough mixes, and we're absolutely blown away.
It's the first time we've left something to someone else's hands to actually kind of.
And we'll get a track to you as well when we get it, mate. We'll get a promo to you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow, that'd be great. Definitely play you this time.
Yeah, man, absolutely. That's an advance right there.
Yeah, you got an advance promise there.
I like exclusives, by the way. I don't want anyone else having it for me.
That's how we roll.
So is there any sort of whispers of an album coming out, or is that a bit further in the future?
Well, actually, funnily enough, we've been discussing that, and hopefully we're looking at winter this year to hopefully maybe go to the States and spend a real studio lockdown time and get maybe like a 10-12 track album down. But it is a different world when it comes to sort of album sales these days, and that's why we've kind of stuck with the 3, 4, 5 tracks at a time, dish them out, because it's an iTunes world. People pick and choose their tracks, so rather than overworking the band and oversaturating it once, where people want something more, we're kind of letting a bit of a trickle and a flow out as time goes. So I think we're in the right position to do what we want, but we are looking forward to getting a real batch of a full album's worth down, probably towards the end of this year. So there's plans in action, but there's a lot of pre-production. There's a lot of work that needs to go into that before we do. But the schedule's in place and the ideas are there already.
And again, man, once that's done, you'll get your promo in advance, because we just want to push the music everywhere and wherever we can.
Yeah, that's cool. Don't blame you. So, other than America and Europe and England, where else would you like to tour in the future?
Japan. I'd love to do Japan, man. That would be fantastic. Imagine Tokyo, man.
Just for the gadgets.
Just for the gadgets and the light shows, and just you know what I mean?
And somewhere like, I suppose, off the wall, somewhere like Russia, if it could happen. Yeah.
Well, I have heard the Russians like a bit of a rock, despite what people think. But yeah, I imagine that'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere you can play music. I mean, that's what it's all about. Just play, whether it's to 100 people, whether it's to 1,000 people.
Yeah, or four chickens in a barn if they are non-theirs at the same time. Them chickens.
For the record, we'll give it 100% anyway. If there's 10 people there or 1,000 people there, we're always glad to play live, basically anywhere and everywhere. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool. Well, we're going to have to leave it there because we're a bit late for the news now, but thank you very much for tuning in.
Thank you, mate.
So complicated. But yeah, thank you very much. So that's Signified. Before you go though, guys, why don't you tell people where they can get in touch with you?
There's a couple of places you can find us on Reverb Nation. That's one place you can listen to our tracks. But again, if you want to go the old school route, it's MySpace /Signified Band, or just do a search for Signified on Facebook and you'll find our page there. The next couple of months, keep your ears to the ground though, because we will be on iTunes and Spotify and CD Baby with the next lot of releases. So give it a couple of months and hopefully, fingers crossed, you will be one of the first lot to get the new stuff.
Cool. Glad to hear it. So thank you very much again for calling. Nice.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.
Nice one, man. You have a nice night. Thank you very much.
You too. And now, everyone, this is the news.
Cheers, mate.
Your community.